My god, the beanie, the beard. Ugh. This twink's cap is trying too hard. Sure about that, baby girl? What's up, guys? My name is Carl from ASGI Marketing, and today we are going to be taking a look at my personal setup that I've been running recently. But more importantly, we've got the Classic Army and Airsoft GI exclusive 15th anniversary GI X9. Super dope, so let's get into it. Now, like I mentioned, this is a collaboration between Airsoft GI and Classic Army to bring you an exclusive X9 that is a little bit different than the normal one for our 15th anniversary. 15 years. Damn. Alright, so the GI X9 is going to come with a URX3 front end, which is a little bit different than the shorter M-Lock version that was originally shown off. It does come with this really cool plastic flash hider that has plastic threads on it. Now, you may be going, oh, plastic threads, but these are really robust. And it actually does interface with this new Classic Army suppressor, mock suppressor, that will be coming out sometime later this year. Now, we're not positive on when exactly they will be here, but it likely will be around the time that we are expecting these guys in, which is roughly mid to late April. So it is limited to 150 pieces, and it is a package. So you are getting 6 mid-cap mags total, an 11.1 1000 milliamp stick battery that goes perfectly in this little compartment back here, and a LiPo charger as well. And that's not all. One out of the 150 packages available will be coming with a $1,500 gift card. Another one of those 150 will be coming with a $1,000 gift card. And these are on pre-order right now for $279.99. Now that is the pre-order price, so if you want to get in at this super sweet deal, these will be going up probably to like $299.99 when they actually do get in. So honestly, pick it up. This is an insane amount of value for the money that you are throwing down, much less than, a standard M4, high-end M4. And you do get the chance to win a substantial amount of money that you can use to buy more sweet airsoft stuff. So for me personally, I threw a Night Evolution light kind of on the 12 o'clock there. I know some people don't really like that position, but for me, I tend to do the thumb over bore thing, as goofy as that is. But it allows me to hit that pressure pad right there really easily. It's also, especially when you're running a gun with a sling, having lights off to the left or right side, it can get a little bit messy if you're transitioning a lot, which I tend to do. Alright, so in addition to the light, I have thrown a standard URX3 hand stop right on the bottom here. Much more of a hand stop guy, don't really like the sort of broom handle vertical grips, and I know that when I index and the back ridge of my hand is on that hand stop, I can thumb over bore and I know I'm going to hit that pressure pad on that light without even having to think about it. Now, these did come right off of a Classic Army ARS series M4 rifle, which also features the URX3, and they're compatible. You can swap them. It's real quick. They just secure to the rail via these Allen screws. Heading back to the optic, a little bit further back here, just nothing fancy, standard T1 microdot style. It's about as minimalist as I care to go, and it does have that nice quick throw lever riser on it in the event that the batteries run out, or, God forbid the optic gets shot out. I don't really like the smaller reflex sight because they tend to have a little bit bigger screens, and it always seems like they take rounds mid-game and then you've got a dead optic, so. Now, speaking of CQB, this is sort of the setup that I've been running for close quarters or mount type games recently. In fact, this is a setup that I built for the most recent Desert Fox events. The whole intention here was to go as light, as minimal as possible, while still, getting everything out there in the field with me that I need. So the base of this setup is a Faro Concepts Slickster, which is an incredibly minimalist plate carrier. I've got a pair of medium sappies in here. The reason I went with that is because of the ability to interface with a whole lot of different chest rigs that are now using these Swift clips. Not every game I'm going to want to run a full plate carrier setup, so it's nice to have the ability to clip on a setup that I'm already familiar with, and when I don't need plates or I don't want that extra armor, what have you, I can just switch out to an actual chest rig. Now, the chest rig in question here is the Spiritist Systems Microfight chest rig, which are really cool. I've kind of been out of the gear game for a little while, and, I remember like the Eagle Rhodesian rigs and that type of setup, which, it's a modular chest rig, but in my opinion, Spiritist has really nailed this like actually modular chest setup, like down pat. It's really cool. You can do a lot of different things with it. So the cool thing about the Microfight is that it is essentially just 2 pockets that are filled with Velcro, and they've got different inserts depending on what type of magazines you're going to be running. Now I've got a 4-mag insert set up for a submachine gun in the back here. I've got a 2 pistol mag insert right in the front, which, as you can see, I've got 1 actual pistol mag and a multi-tool. Honestly, if you don't have a multi-tool and you're playing Airsoft, get one, because you'll be everyone's best friend. There's always going to be a situation where someone needs pliers or a screwdriver, what have you. Now, on the right side of the rig, I've got a flap that essentially tucks into this pocket here and gives me a small utility pouch. For instance, at the Desert Fox game, I was running, it would vary. It would be a snack pouch. It would hold a small tourniquet if the medics weren't around, which was something that they transitioned to later in the game. It just depends, but overall, it's a super modular rig, and if you're interested in lightweight, really high-speed setups, honestly, check it out. Now, coming back to the ferro plate carrier that the Spiritist Microfight is riding on, what's really cool is that the cummerbund actually has a bunch of different, approximately M4 sized mag inserts in the elastic itself. Now, I wasn't running an M4, so obviously I wouldn't have AR mags to put in there, but I did find it really useful to stick various pyro that I had at different points throughout the event just in there. Like you can see, I've got smoke grenades tucked on either side here, and it worked really great. Alright, so I did pick up a pair of Cry Combats in Multicam Black for this event, and I know that this is going to sound silly because people have been running Cry stuff and singing their praises to the heavens since 2009, 2010. But for someone who's been out of the gear game and has spent probably the past 4 or 5 years running different kinds of OPFOR kits in track pants and flowy Afghan wizard pants and awful wool pants for Cossack stuff, wow, are there a lot of features in these pants. They've thought of everything. It's really wild. So in addition to having a really minimalist setup on the rig, it's a Rubik's Cube of puzzles in these pants, man. I'm telling you, if you don't have them, check them out. As far as utility goes, they're absolutely great. And they've got built-in knee pads and all sorts of modular adjustments on them. Everything that you could ever want out of a pair of pants. Which, if any of you have ever played at George Air Force Base, that place is an absolute nightmare with the amount of nails and barbed wire and all sorts of hazards that are on the field. So, you get a little bit more confidence when you are wearing something that, is going to give you a little bit more protection. Standing a bit in contrast to that line of thought is the shoes that I've been wearing recently, which are the newest generation of Meral trail runners. Now, years ago, I got really into trail running, and it was before the sort of different generations of all these barefoot shoes, so I was doing it out there in the Vibram 5 Fingers, the toe shoes, which give you about the least amount of protection that is physically possible, while still allowing you to go outside. But one thing that it did teach me was foot placement. So even when I'm running around in an Airsoft game, I am very conscious of where my foot is going, and you kind of learn to keep your eyes both on the place maybe 5 or 10 feet in front of you while still kind of being aware of your surroundings. Now, that's not a recommendation at all if you're going out to dangerous fields or places that you expect there to be hazards that you might be able to step on. Please, don't blame this on me. Wear proper shoes. But for me personally, I can get away with these really lightweight things, and it just fits the overall, go faster aesthetic. So overall, both the highest speed setup that I've ever run and also the most minimalist. It lent itself really well to using a submachine gun at this particular Desert Fox game, which, per their rule set, are the only guns that are allowed to both fire full auto and don't have a minimum engagement distance as long as you're under an FPS of about 330 or so. So it was really useful for getting into tight closets and crawling through waist-high windows and all sorts of stuff like that. So again, if you're at all interested in a really minimalist setup, check out the Ferro rig, check out Spiritist systems. More importantly, if you're interested in new submachine guns for 2018 and you want to be the coolest kid on the block with only 150 ever, check out the GI X9. Like I said, pre-orders are up right now, $279.99. and it comes with a ton of stuff. Get it? All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me today. But I do wanna know what you think of this setup. Are you kinda into more minimalist stuff yourself? It is a really hot trend right now. What does your setup look like? Do you think my setup is stupid? Do you have a snarky comment about my hat today? Let me know. My name is Carl, this has been GITV, and I'll see you.